This country is drowning in a cesspool of deceit, a festering wound disguised as a national conversation. The grooming gang scandal, a horrific crime against vulnerable children, is being systematically ignored by the mainstream media, a betrayal of the public trust of epic proportions. While the BBC and Sky News dither and deflect, focusing on inconsequential distractions like hecklers at political rallies, the outrage of millions simmers, threatening to boil over. This isn't about a few isolated incidents, it's about a decades-long conspiracy of silence, a cover-up involving authorities, social workers, police, politicians, and yes, the mainstream media itself. The convenient narrative of diversity and mass immigration is used as a shield, obscuring the horrifying truth: the systematic sexual abuse of children, largely perpetrated by men of Pakistani heritage. This isn't about race, it's about justice. If the perpetrators were white, the outcry would be deafening. The silence is deafening, and it's a deliberate choice. The recent interview between Richard Tice and Trevor Phillips on Sky News perfectly encapsulates this shameful dereliction of duty. Phillips, a seasoned interviewer known for his aggressive style, inexplicably chose to sidestep the elephant in the room, focusing instead on trivial incidents. Tice, to his credit, refused to be deflected. He relentlessly pressed the issue, forcing Phillips into a defensive posture, revealing the uncomfortable truth: the mainstream media is terrified to touch this story. Why? The answer is multifaceted. Fear of backlash from powerful lobbies, a reluctance to confront uncomfortable truths about immigration and cultural norms, and perhaps even a deep-seated bias all play a role. The result is a vacuum of information, a void filled by alternative media outlets and independent journalists who are doing the job the mainstream media refuses to do. They are giving voice to the victims, sharing their stories, and demanding accountability. The public is not fooled. The anger is palpable, and it's directed not just at the perpetrators, but at the institutions that enabled them, and the media that actively chose to ignore them. This isn't a debate about immigration. It's a fight for justice. It's a fight for the children who were abused, and for the future of a nation that seems content to bury its head in the sand while its children suffer. Robert Jenrick's statement, suggesting a link between mass immigration and the scandal, is inflammatory, but it taps into a raw nerve. The question isn't whether the statement is accurate, but why the mainstream media refuses to even engage with the underlying concerns. The silence is deafening, and it's a betrayal of the public trust. The demand for a national inquiry is not a fringe opinion. It's a reflection of the widespread outrage and the growing belief that the establishment is actively protecting the perpetrators. The interview with Tice was a microcosm of the larger battle. The attempt to shift the focus away from the grooming gang scandal, the evasive answers, the obvious discomfort, it all speaks volumes. The mainstream media's complicity in this cover-up is a stain on the integrity of journalism. The public deserves better. The victims deserve justice. And the silence must be broken. This isn't about politics. It's about morality. It's about protecting the most vulnerable members of society. It's about holding those in power accountable. And it's about demanding the truth, no matter how uncomfortable it may be. The grooming gang scandal is not just a story, it's a national disgrace. And the media's failure to adequately cover it is a betrayal of its fundamental responsibility to the public. The time for silence is over. The time for action is now.